You know, as of right now, I think way too many people are overlooking the axial Helilimon. This thing is an absolute scale performing buggy monster. And with only a few modifications, this thing can be extremely good, as I want to try and demonstrate in this video by running some of my favorite lines out here. But overall, people really need to be paying attention to this buggy if you like actual buggies. What's going on, guys? This is Logan with West Desert Wheeler, and today we've got out our axial Helilimon. This one has got a lot of modifications, but that doesn't mean that kind of a box stock one isn't also very good. This thing is super fun, not only because of its performance, but also because of its size. So this gives you a different driving experience than every other tent scale, because this one reaches further and it also is wider, so it can span new gaps. It might not fit in as many places, but it can also open up new terrain as well. Like, I just drove up that wall at our very first thing we saw me driving on. I don't know if a tent scale would do that right now, but because of this thing's size and its performance, it does really awesome. Now, I've been a huge fan of the axial Capra for a long time, but truthfully, I've realized lately, like, the Capra isn't that awesome unless you replace most of it. That's been my experience. This guy, all you have to do is add brass knuckles to the front and a rear steer axle to the back, if that's your thing. And it is an absolute monster. That's really all you got to do. Now, I've added different things because that's just kind of my nature. I like to modify things as I go. So having things like rear steer and front and rear dig available from the truck from the factory is pretty awesome. Now, this car is probably the most scale performing RC buggy out there. That's because I owned a real rear steer portal buggy, and it had rear steer. Mine had cutting brakes, so I could lock up a single individual tire, like that right rear is not spinning right now. I could do that with my real car. I had cutting brakes on it. It can also do front wheel drive only, which my real car could do. I had a Dana 300 transfer case that was modified, and then it can also do rear wheel drive only, which I could also do with my Dana 300 transfer case. So this car, out of the box, you need to add, it's called the ASD function. It's what exists in the rear axle out of the box that allows you to use those cutting brakes. That same mechanism exists in the transmission. You can buy it as a kit, and you add a small micro servo to it, and this car then has front and rear only. Now, I put a stiffer spring in the transmission side so that it shifts in and out easier. But I gotta tell you, this is one of the best dig units that I've used in an RC car. When you shift to dig, like right here, I'm gonna go to front wheel drive. So, let's see, I gotta let go of my steering here. As I shift to front wheel drive, I'm gonna flip this switch backwards. Watch how much the car moves. Barely anything at all. And it's up steep on an obstacle. With other dig units, you'll see a lot larger shift in the vehicle's position. And then it's also a little bit easier to get it to go back into four-wheel drive most of the time. There are times where if you have it really bound, it won't want to go back into four-wheel drive as easily, and it might take a slight reverse to get the drivetrain unbound to get her to pop up. We're gonna find ourselves a bind to get some traction here. There we go. So this is already just moving through one of the hardest trail obstacles out here. This isn't even my trail. I drive this one a lot. My buddy Braxton and his friends came up with it, and they call it cold cuts. But these last few obstacles on their trail is just one of the super challenging, super fun, and this car just walked through it. It does really awesome. Now, I did add aluminum wheels with big Proline Super Swampers here. These aluminum wheels are from Spec RC. These are a special wheel made for the Helilimon, and these are the Comp Cut 2.2s. These are going to be hard to get a hold of, but they're extremely cool, and if you get the opportunity, I highly recommend it. I would argue that even out of the box, this thing is one of the better performing RTRs out there. Now, it's not a comp vehicle, but as far as driving it and having a good time and it being pretty damn durable, this has been an awesome car. I've been mean to mine, and I have broken an axle shaft. I know that's a common issue in these, but I also know that Axial is going to be improving those. whether it's materials or a different axle design. What we're doing here is working on a new line that I've never been able to get all the way through. I don't fully anticipate being able to get it all the way through in this video, but might as well come out and document some attempts, I suppose. Oh, settle down. Another very interesting thing on this, we're gonna upset this car here for a second. There we go. Get that rear end balanced. Get her to shift over that way. Another interesting thing in this car as far as performance goes, this thing has counter rotating drive shafts, which helps eliminate torque twists. And that seems like an RC car only thing, right guys? Actually, there is a full-size buggy out there, probably a few of them, that have what's called a reverser box. I believe Jesse Haynes has put them in a few of his moon buggies. I don't know how many are out there, but they do exist for the real cars. And they have counter rotating drive shafts to help eliminate torque twists, which is pretty wild. And I'm not sure which one came first, whether it was the RC side or the full size. But either way, pretty wild to think that that actually shares. Ah, that was so close right there. These Swampers just have such chunky sidewalls. There we go. Now we're up into this. So this obstacle is one of the steepest V-notches out here that I think might be possible. Note that I say might. This car has a distinct advantage because it can reach further. Now there is an awesome hook about 1.5 inches up here. I think if we can get that tire to hook onto that, I think we got it. But I can't quite get the car positioned to do this. So let's try and keep that tire up on the ledge actually. It's just not quite wide enough to get that left rear to climb up the ledge a little more to help push this car up some more. See, the right rear will start to fall off the wall. So what we're gonna do is use that front only, and we're gonna lock this front sidewall down into the crack and then go back into 4 right there. You hear that little click, it's that spring making it engage. It will get very close and then the tires just let it fall down. It's irritating how close it gets. And it's a track width issue. I mean, I could put wider hubs on this, but I don't really want to. It would look a little bit goofy. It's already fairly wide, but I run it this wide to give me extra clearance on my shocks for my tires. Because as you can see with a good steering angle, see, it's so close right there. It's a 1/2 inch from making it. Maybe one day it'll just luckily pull that, just magically make it happen. Come on, get up there. There's something I was talking about there for a second. I forgot what it is that I wanted to talk about. Oh, the excellent steering angle. Yeah, these things have really good steering right out of the box as well. And the brass portals do not limit its steering, which is a good thing. And they're very heavy, so they're very effective at doing their job. I can't go too far on the rear. Come on, car. It's so damn close. And this is the game I play. I just sit here and kind of rock back and forth and keep trying, and unfortunately a game of insanity because I keep trying the same things and it doesn't work. So I might not spend too much time on camera here. I'm probably gonna burn 5 to 10 minutes on it off camera and see how things go. But this is like my new real hard line out here that I'm trying to figure out, see if it's possible. Something crazy with like a 14-inch wheelbase and tent scale might do it. The Helimon's still just not quite there. I did get my optic in here all the way up to this point, and the optic really put up a good fight, but it's just a little bit too small of a car for this obstacle. And it's crazy vertical because the optic, the rear end goes down into the crack to get the fronts up on that wall. And so it just can't reach it. Come on. Yeah, not enough. So I guess what happens if we let that rear go in. We've got the D's shock bands on the front holding the nose down. What happens if we square up to this wall? I don't know if I can, honestly. Yeah, it's trying to spit us out with the tires. The top of the tires hit the rocks, and it forces it to do goofy stuff. And so at the top of the tire on that front right pushing, it pushes the whole car down. There's not enough grip to hold it on the wall at this angle. So yeah, I'm probably gonna shut the camera off, mess with it for a few minutes. I'll kick it back on if some miracle happens. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next obstacle. Well, unfortunately, no miracles happened. I didn't play on it that long, actually. 3 or 4 minutes is all. But it's there. There's something, maybe a slight mod to the car. I think we can make it happen. Then this line is also very fun. It's one we've more recently been playing on. And I was curious if this car would fit on it. Apparently it does. And made quick work of that. So speaking of this car not needing a ton of modifications, another car that's actually really good for that is the Vanquish Optic. You add some of those big Trio brass knuckles to it, and those things absolutely eat. I like rear steer on my car. I like cut and shuts on my car. Get the belly off the ground a little bit. But the Optic is a seriously good car. It's not a portal car, so they drive a little different. It just has different driving dynamics. But that's okay. We want different experiences in each RC, or at least I do. I kind of have different reasons for owning each one. Oh man, that's scary. Yeah, it barely held on there. All the way up to meet Sydney at the top. But these freaking Helilimons, man, they eat. I strongly recommend them, especially at these 5.8 Super Swamper XLs. Uh-oh, lost a piece of hardware. I think I got a few extra at home. We were out here playing the other day and driving on this, and it turns out you can drive down this. I mean, we may even put it in front wheel drive only to help drag the rear down as a brake. So there we go, we'll do front only. See how quickly that engages, doesn't upset the vehicle. Be ready to throttle out though, because it's gonna start sliding down here on the belly. Nice and controlled. Nothing crazy, that was pretty realistic to what a real car would be. Back to 4-wheel drive, pretty seamless front to rear only there. Now, I will be honest, I don't use my ASD almost at all anymore. With the rear steer and the front and rear only, I just don't find it as necessary to have. But if you don't put rear steer on the truck, it's very effective at making it turn sharper. It does its job, it's realistic. Okay, it's bound up, so let's take some bind off the drivetrain. Get her to bite on there. Put her back in 4. Now, this is a big car for this little crack right here. Oh. Gotta get her to rotate through there. I also can't really see what the rear's trying to do because I'm trying to get a cool angle for filming. I can see that our body panel's getting into the rocks though. So maybe using that rear steer to get us a different angle. We're gonna get a huge bite and pull on this driver's side. And then once that rear's trapped in here, I'm gonna do a rear only. So let's go walk around back. Yeah, so traditionally, like, this would be a terrible spot to be in if you don't have rear only. But we have a lot of pressure on that tire, plus rear steer. So let's see if we can wiggle our way and get that rear to pop up. Yeah, it's just not quite on the right angle. Ooh, that is in a bad spot. You can hear that thing flexing and binding up. I actually moved my front steering to allow the car to slide back a little bit. The car absolutely hated it, but she pulled through. So that's one thing I wanted to kind of demonstrate. These cars are also very tough. Now this just sounds like a giant sales pitch of a Helilimon. It's just because I really enjoy it. Like, I think people are overlooking this. That's kind of why I'm talking in this manner. I don't usually talk like this about a vehicle, but like, this thing is awesome. I enjoy it a lot. And I hadn't driven it for a few months, kind of just sat on the shelf for a bit. But man, I took it out at Proline by the Fire. It reminded me how much I like it. I've actually taken it out a few times since I've been home, and like, just driving with friends and whatnot, these cars are killer. I highly recommend them. I'll quit being so sales pitchy about it. But I do recommend, if you don't have one, pick one up. Get somebody who has one, give it a drive, see what you think. Try some hard lines. This thing is really good at hard lines. All right guys, I'm standing on a cliff edge and I'm gonna see if I can work this car in here. I see an obstacle. It looks possible. We'll find out. Try and drag that rear a little more this direction. That didn't work. But just trying to avoid smashing through this bush entirely on the way in. And I gotta be careful where I step because I don't want to fall off. But the bush is gonna save us from tipping over too far. I think it would have handled that angle no problem, but now we're gonna spin around so you can see where we're going up. All right, so we got our big cliff drop over here. That's a solid 10, 12 footer. And then we got our obstacle here. Like I say, I think it's possible. Depends if we're gonna have our hook in the right place or not. This is new stuff. I haven't tried this before. Yeah, I want to get that rear worked over, get a little more of an angle on this. And then wrap that tire up. Interesting, this might not work. At least at this wheelbase. And these are big tires, so these ledges are not gonna be easy for anything else. We got a good front left hook there. Trying to get it to pull those rears up, but that front right battles the ledge at the same time. Let's try and bump it from here, I guess. Not a bad approach. Also digging deeper holes in the bottom. And of course, we get the bump off camera. So I'm gonna finish out the line first, and then we'll try and get up that bump one more time on camera. It's got to knock all the dust and the moss off that rock before she's gonna get the grip. Right there, it's on its belly. So maybe we can go out towards the cliff edge and get all sketchy with it. Sure can. I'm pretty confident we could go straight up and a little bit to the right. That would work. Oh dear. So we're gonna do a little front only. Get us positioned where we wanna be. Get that rear on that ledge. It's a little bit on the belly. It's just so slippery in here with all this moss. Let's get it wedged in there. Yeah, we're just out of traction on this guy. Okay, screw it, we'll go up then. There we go. Now I'm gonna turn around. Let's do front only. Back to four wheel. A little throttle. Sydney's standing behind me. I don't know why. We gotta work our way through this pocket. A lot of smashed off rocks here. That's interesting. Drag the rear through. That's a pretty wicked one. That's a fun little line. Okay, let's see if we can get that bump on camera. All right, guys. So I think what we did here, we got her on a little bit of an angle like this. And I bumped it in just a mellow crab like this. Yeah, I think you're about right there. And we had a hammer on it, and it hopped up and stuck it. Not quite. We got to get this on video. Try to roll into it a little more there. Something like that. Of course, this is the one time I can do it. I turned the camera off. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay, what is stopping us here? There's something like killing our momentum. There it is. Ah, told you we could do it. All right, and then we'll try the straight up and out line. There we go. 2 new lines opened up. That's a fun little side quest over there. Man, I was just cruising along. The sand had been washed away in this pocket and I started working on it. This thing's pretty legit in here. It's getting it all bound up. Need to get that rear worked over. Kinda gotta get the car balanced, but then it's wedged and like the servos get angry. Come on, come on. That's looking good. Get it up there. Oh, can't let that left rear fall in. Yeah, that was legit. That was sick. I did not think it would do that. Yeah, no torque twist through that. Come on, car. Wrap that back around. Get up the ledge. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, did you guys see that? Look at that terrain in there, man. That's nasty. So I drove down here and it front flipped and landed in this crack. So I front burned over, worked my way up into it and kind of got my front tires in there before I kicked on the camera, but that was rad. All right, guys, we got 20% battery left on the GoPro. We're gonna speed run through Mousetrap. Here we go. So starting from the very bottom. Now we got to be careful through here, but I think she can get through here pretty quick. Also, just standing up here is super slippery because there's sand all over it. This car in particular, I put underdrive portal gears in, I believe. And so this has got about 40% underdrive, which is a lot. I've always kind of regretted putting the additional part in because it's not really necessary. Sneak our way through there. Probably gonna use some front burn here. Or maybe even, you know, let's just cutting brake this stuff. Nice. Quick engagement and disengagement on that. Shoot on up through here. We might be going for record time through Mousetrap, which my buddy Matt was talking about the other day, see who could run Mousetrap the fastest. So here we go, Matt. Okay, I gotta climb up and out. Oh. All right, let's go. Trying to drive it as fast and clean as possible. You know what, we're going for this bonus line too. So that's always been part of the trail. Yeah. This car helps because it's so wide. I hope this has enough wheel speed to shoot the wall. I don't know if it will. I don't think it does. Yikes. Okay, come on. I need to get up the wall. Like that was the line right there. Yeah, I think she's gonna have to get some assistance through there. This wall has always been a wheel speed obstacle. Here we are. Gonna cut right through this. This last track can be real tricky, so we gotta be careful. Let's get it wedged in there. Oh, there we go. Fight the sidewall through. It's probably the most technical crack, honestly. This one will break your stuff the quickest. And there it is, Mousetrap in what, 2.5, 3 minutes? Well, cool guys, I think we showed off the car's capabilities. They're worth picking up. If you've been sold on one, I've got an affiliate link below. And like, I strongly recommend it. It's one of my favorite buggies. So we do have plenty of life left on the battery because I got through there so quick. The clip itself was 4 minutes, so that's probably like a 3:45 run, something like that. Just need to make this thing get up the wall. Oh, speaking of going up the wall, let's go up right here. This car's got some wheelbase on her, so she should be able to do this. I remember burning out on this for a while. I don't remember if I ever got the belly up. Front only right there. Car didn't even move, you just heard it click. 4-wheel. My car's lipoing. Oh, go, 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 come on. It's gonna lipo. Oh, that was it, dude. The end. Well, that was a hell of a run with a Helilimon today. That was a lot of fun. I do have a spare battery in my pocket, but I think we're gonna save it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, sorry if I was a little preachy there. It's a fun car. I really enjoy it. Thank you guys so much. West Desert Wheeler link down below, affiliate links linked down below. You can pick up a t-shirt. It's not through my website. I will have a link to that site as well. It's made direct to order, so I don't have to deal with any inventory on shirts because I don't know what sizes to carry and what colors you guys will like, but they're all available on there. I also mark down all kids apparel as low as possible. So if you want to get your kid a shirt, it's as cheap as I can offer it. So check those out as well. Thank you guys. We will see you in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.